Jack and Jill here.
Hey.
Welcome to the JackJill Show. It's here that we provide entertaining real estate investment advice. I'm Jack Pitella.
I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting again from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about Jill's negotiation approach, one of my favorite topics.
Now,
mostly because it takes the onus off of me.
Well, I gotta ask. I was just thinking about this as I was writing some notes for the show. Which, by the way, this is another one of those that it's fun because you came up with this topic, not me, and I appreciate. I get to share my whatever. But anyway, what I was gonna say was I wasn't sure which direction. I took it as a business direction, but some of the things that I say could be used in all kinds of negotiations. Without. You know what I'm trying to say.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, thank you. So I wanted to make sure whatever you think this show means to you, just use it. You can use it for that.
How about an interview?
I'm going to negotiate.
I'll interview you.
How to get my wife to do X. Okay, sorry.
It's quite the other way around.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Or,
You know what this show should be called?
That's what my wife is doing when she did this or when she said that. Is that what you mean?
It should be called How Do You Get What You Want? How Jill gets what she wants.
Oh, that's good.
Before we get into the topic, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the JackJill.com online community. It's free.
Okay. Sandra asks, "Hi, everyone. Is it hard to transition from land to houses? I hear you guys talk about it all the time, but I'm concerned because the dollars are so much higher. Is it difficult? What do I need to know?" I love it. This is so good because so many of our members are like, what's interesting? I think a lot of our members in our community, they found us knowing they wanted to do something in real estate, period, right? We all know there's money to be made in real estate. We got that out of the way. So, I think we're over that one. I don't have to convince anyone that one. So,
we got that out of the way.
Exactly.
No, I can hear people say it. No, what do you mean you
can't make any
money in real estate?
No, that's funny. No,
that cracks me up.
I know. So anyway, then people, but they get into it. They're like, oh God, I can't afford this. I can't afford that. When you talk to someone who's brand new, thinking they want to be an investor and they want to invest apartment building, and you tell them the best thing you can do is pay cash. They usually don't have enough cash sitting around to go and buy an apartment building.
No one does.
Right? Got it.
I don't care if you're Sam Zell. You don't look at your bank balance and say, wow, there's not enough for us to buy. That's a really good deal. Thanks for bringing it over. But we don't have enough money right now.
Right.
No, you find the money.
Right. But back to land. But what I was going to say was, so we have a lot of people in our group that drilled it down and have been flipping land, started out doing land because of the ease of the transactions and cash and everything. And a lot of our folks are ready to move on. They got this all figured out, you know what I mean? And they're ready to do some bigger deals and make more money. And then B, they have the cash, So, and I understand Sandra's concern is, all right, maybe I'm staring at $100,000. I started with 10. Now I have $100,000. Now I can start making some different decisions because this is the discussions that I have with our members. And so this is a really good question. And
here's a conversation, the synopsis of a conversation I had on a consulting call today, and it went like this. I joined you guys in September. I bought 14 properties. I've sold 10 of them. I made about, he said, I think I made $4,000 per unit. Mm-hmm. So he said a version of what you just said. I made he said I made $40,000 or $50,000 in a few months.
Right.
And so now he said exactly what you said. Well, I know it works now. We can get that out of the way. Mm-hmm. But I sat down in front of Excel and I said, well, what if I made $20,000 on each of these 2 deals? On each of these 10 deals or 14 deals or whatever his number was? I would have made $250,000 in the last few months.
Exactly.
And so that's a very good question to ask yourself in front of a mirror.
Do I want to make that much money?
Because at $200,000, no, like what if I made more per deal? So at $200,000, yeah. I mean, now you're very seriously considering quitting your job.
Right.
For $40,000, I don't think so.
What do you think, Jack? Is it hard to transition from land to houses?
No, I think that land is a great place to start. I think it's a great place to learn, cut your teeth on the business. It doesn't cost a lot of money. You got a great support group here, but I think that houses is a great place to graduate too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know, and I don't necessarily, we're in the distant future, we're going to roll commercial real estate into this too, but houses is a great place to make a really, really good living and really make an institution out of it if you want to.
Yep. One of the things that she asked too is it difficult? And I would almost argue that in some situations these are easier because most of the house transactions, you're not closing yourself.
Yeah, so there's two or three things that you don't do with a house deal that you do with land deals. Number one, Jill just nailed it. You don't close a deal yourself. You get a title agent to close it, so you don't have to worry about that.
Which is great.
Number two, you don't have to sell the asset once you buy it, because if you do it according to the way we do it, you find a buyer first. You find the person who's going to renovate it first. Number three, you don't have to have a dollar, because the person who's going to renovate it's loaded.
Right.
They're the money. You just find the deal for them, and then they, you depending on how you transact it at the end,
you know what?
They pay for it one way or the other.
Not to give anything away, not to give too much away from the upcoming SFR program that you're working on right now, Jack. But
it's called House Academy, by the way.
It is. That's one of the things that we're really good at, and that's why we're here. Not only are we experts at finding the deals, let's be honest, we're experts at finding the people to fund the deals.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean,
that's pretty easy.
So that's it. So, people, this is the whole common thing. People go, why are you guys not talking about selling so much? And I always, I try to restate your quote, which is, if you're selling an asset, so far undervalued, if you got an asset for sale that's this much undervalued, do you think it's hard to find a buyer? No. That's the truth. Seriously. That's it.
Yeah, you can't hide in the basement and keep it a secret.
No.
But no, it's not. It sells itself pretty easily.
Thank you.
And then finally, what the huge difference between land and houses is there's the availability of data. The whole world's tracking house data, house sales data, everything about it. I mean, there's economists that, with land, not so much, especially rural land. The people who use data to make economic decisions from the federal government all the way down to us.
Right.
They don't care about land as much as they care about houses. So it's like I think we did a show yesterday on that.
Exactly. You are right. That's
so is it difficult?
Good.
No. I think it's easier. I think it's cheaper. And I think you can make more money. But you need to know the basics first.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jill says, it's easier to fly a 747, but you don't learn on one.
Right.
You learn on a little Cessna or whatever.
Hey, thank you. That's a beautiful little, that's a great way to explain this. Thank you, Jack.
You're welcome. Today's topic.
What a weirdo. Oh, geez.
What a weirdo, she says.
Exactly.
What a weirdo. That's the reaction that all men love that from women. Hey, I think you look really pretty today. What a weirdo.
Oh my gosh. That's good.
Today's topic, Jill's negotiation approach. This is the meat of the show.
Where do I start?
What a weirdo.
Yes, thank you. You can call me a weirdo.
I am, all the way through the whole show.
Under your breath, I know. I'm sorry, was that my outside voice? That was it.
There's no under your breath in this show.
I don't know how to do that. That's a fact. I don't know how to whisper. My mom has said that. I don't know how to whisper, and I don't know how to keep a secret. I'm suck at secrets. Don't tell me
Your
a
mom
secret.
told you this?
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's hilarious, Joe.
She really said, you do not know how to whisper. And you did that to me today, didn't you, Jack, in the kitchen? You're like, you're kind of yelling, and I'm right here. So, yeah, okay.
Jill, share it with us.
Oh, no.
Here's what happens in real life with us.
No.
Here's what happens with Jill and I in real life. I send a bunch of mail out. A bunch of people answer our phones on our staff. But ultimately, all the stuff, when a lot of stuff goes on in between, and then I stare at a database, and there's a bunch of acquisition candidates in there where the people who have answered their phones are people who work for us, qualified the deals, and they say, you know what, this person, they do want to sell their house, here's how much they want to sell it for, and it looks like we can close the deal. Looks like the person's not dead and all that other stuff. So what do? I say, yes, I love this deal for the price that it is, let's buy it. Next one. I love this deal, but it's too expensive. We need to shave $20,000 off. and I pick up the phone and I call Jill. And that's what this episode's about. What's your approach?
I love these ones.
I know you do. I know you love this.
It's a challenge for me.
'Cause I hate it.
You'll come in and I try to go under what you say. All right, here's the deal. We love this asset, but we want it for this price, not that price. I'm like, okay, game on. So now I'm going to try to get it for less. So, well, first I'm going to really understand the property in the area because I really want the other person to know I know what I'm talking about. So, and I'm going to come at them with all of the good things and the flaws and all of the reasons why I deem it appropriate at this lower price. Now, right off the bat, obviously, they're not going to like it. Let's just be honest, because we all know they want to sell it for, their asking price, but that's not the price that we're willing to pay. So one of the things I do is I listen.
Let's say it's 5 acres in Indiana, by the way. It's right on the road. But the terrain of the property is kind of like only 2 acres are usable, and the other portion of it it's just unusable. Maybe it's drainage or uneven.
That's the kind of stuff that I would point out to them. I would really talk about, have you been out there? Have you seen it? Let me show you some pictures. Here's why it's only worth, it's worth X. And it's not so much about that, where you're going with it. It's not so much about the facts. It's more about the relationship. So I want to follow up with that. So now I get the facts out. Now I got to get them to sign off on it. That's the whole thing. So I'm going to listen to them and their speech, and I'm going to keep, I'm going to stand firm with why I think it's priced at the price I've come up with. And I want to get them to the point where they understand it and they start to feel good about that transaction. And you can get them to that point. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll throw them a bone to get what I want. For example,
this is good stuff.
Thank you. Sometimes I'll say, okay, tell you what, here's what we're going to do then. I'll pay for all the recording, all the closing costs, this, and this at this price. Okay, now right there, they're going, oh, okay. That makes them really think about it. The other thing that I do is I set an amount. You know what? I sometimes don't come at them with my end. I often don't come at them with my end number. So I'm gonna start at one number. It's like, come on, it's like buying. It's like you're negotiating. We all know how it's gonna go. When you put a car for sale on Craigslist, we all know that's not the sale and the price. There's gonna be some negotiation. So when I come at them, I do have some wiggle room. But I will tell you this: I have a limit, and I set an amount, and I don't move from that limit. And so that's one of the things you have to do. You have to know when to cut it off, and you have to know when to walk away. And what you have to do is you have to see it as this. You don't see it as risking losing the deal, but you see it as a means of not overpaying. Or what if you're selling? What if this is you on the shoes on the other foot? You don't want to sell too cheap. So there's times you have to set a limit, say what you need to say, throw a bone if you can, but know when to walk away, and then do walk away. And I'll tell you so many times. I guess one other thing that's underlying here is be transparent about everything too. I mean, there's times that I'll say, look, this is not my first transaction in this county too. This is really what I usually pay. And this is, you can go look at the numbers too and see what people are doing. It's not like it's a big secret. And look at yours over here, and this is why. And hey, this is what I do. This is my business. And I'm not the end user, but I'm sure a guy that could sure pay cash and get it taken care of right now real fast for you. That's the deal, and so when you're transparent, you will explain who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff, and and be ready to walk away. You'd be surprised how many times go, okay, wait a minute, and they'll say, all right, I'll take it. Or they might hang up the phone. Don't be afraid of this too. Let them hang up the phone. Let them sleep on it. That needs to happen. And then they're going to wake up the next day. They might be furious and think you're an idiot. Seriously. Hang up the phone and then call you, And I have one right now. It's so funny because my staff just told me about the other day. One I forgot about. I said, oh, is that the X deal? They go, yeah, that guy. And I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. Because it was one that we talked a couple times, and I really, really, really walked away. And he called back, and now he wants to do the deal at my price. And it was like I want to say 2 months ago, seriously, and I can't believe I even remembered the guy.
Sure.
You know, but it was one of those that I kept going, this guy's nuts. Okay, whatever. And then because his price and my price were so different, and now my price makes sense. So.
Yeah, it's not so much. I mean, what clinches it for me that I know this is in your soul is because I don't even know if you know this, but often you'll come back to me. This is all in the database. You'll come back to me and say, they won't take 20,000 off, but they'll take 10 off. And here's why. And then you sell me on it, just like you just described it. Well, this person's really old, and they really this, and that, this, and this, and that, you know.
You know what I have done?
But the difference is that I'm buying it to resell it. So if I can't get it for 20 off, I can only get it for 10. That's $10,000 off of my pocket.
Right. So I don't do that really anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you know what? I'll be honest. I mean, back when I was first learning this, and it was like $800 versus $1,000, and that was going to make the deal. All right, I'd throw in the extra $200 if that's going to make the deal close. That wasn't a big deal because I'm selling it for $3. So, you know, but the bigger numbers, I'm not doing that. It's too easy to walk away and send out more mail.
It really is.
So that's the reality. I don't have to do that, Jack. I really don't.
The clincher for me, and I have not had to negotiate in quite some time because Jill does it, and what really just brings them home is I say something like this. The next guy that's after me is not going to be this nice, and he's not going to answer his phone. In fact, he's probably not even going to call you back even once. So you can choose to deal with a guy like me and probably maybe make a little bit less money, maybe make a little less under market, but I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and when I say I'm going to close it on Thursday, we're going to actually close it. So if that's worth $20,000 to you versus just, and then you're done with it, then you really should close this deal. Otherwise, the next time I talk to you, it's not going to be this price.
Yeah, I don't. That's a different. You have a very different tactic than I have.
And that works a lot, or it worked. I should say.
Is that the Detroit way?
I don't know. I think it's a gender thing.
Oh, okay.
More than anything, I don't know. Just like you nailed it at the end. I mean, I'm gonna read down. I'm gonna pick up the phone right after this and call somebody else. So it's up to you.
Exactly.
If I'm talking to a guy, that'll push him right over the edge. If I'm talking to a woman, she's going to say, have a nice day. Have a good life.
That's really funny. I love it.
Well, you've done it again. You've wasted almost 20 minutes listening to the Jack and Jill Show. Join us tomorrow where we discuss what to learn from HGTV, and then you should just turn it off.
And we answer your questions, should you have one, post it on the JackJill online community, jackjill.com online community. Go find it. It's free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
That was
stuff, Jill.
Thank you.
I mean, that is, you know how something's so like normal to you and second nature, I think. That stuff is so not normal for me. It's so not second nature. So to hear you talk about it and explain it is really valuable.
Thank
and
you.
I think there's a lot of people are like that. Like
Everybody
talking about
has
data
something.
to me, I just think everybody knows about it, but they don't.
Every single person walking around on this planet has something that comes natural to them, and so many people don't realize.
Isn't that true?
That it's not, that they are walking around with that's gold that's so easy for them, and they take it for granted.
I know, I agree. They don't like really capitalize on it.
Yeah, and that's that's one of the things that I'm working on with books and things on the side, is kind of like bringing that to light in everyone and just saying, you need to take this and run. And by the way, if it comes easy for you, that kind of is a sign that you should be doing that and more of it.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Name the 3 kids that we have. What are their things that they have that comes natural to them that they're not capitalizing on? Number 1, go.
Confidence.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Leadership. That's what I think. Same thing.
Okay, good. Yep.
Number 2.
He's just getting it. He's got the personality, like
charisma.
With the people.
I agree.
He's just not figuring that out. Number 3, smart brains.
Yep.
Yeah.
Linear logic.
You know what? We just had a conversation. That's so funny you say that. Number three and I were talking. She goes, it used to not be that way, but now it's cool. Being smart is cool.
Yeah,
It used to be being smart. Cool. Being geeky was like, oh boy, that's the chess club.
Yep.
And now it's like, it's cool. I'm like, I'm really glad.
Bill Gates was a geek. Steve Jobs is a geek.
But
Elon Musk is a geek.
But
but
You
they're
know what
all,
I mean.
you know, they run the world.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It's cool.
But it used to be like they weren't the cool kids. Like,
Right.
oh, those guys. So,
Right.
yep. Hey, share the fun by subscribing on iTunes or wherever you're listening. And while you're at it, rate us there. We are Jack and Jill.
Information
And inspiration.
to buy undervalued property.